Hey everyone, this is Kat. I'm making this recording for you because I'm away on a vacation and I want you to have your restorative class for your Friday. We're going to start in our usual way, up the wall, legs up the wall, that is. And today I want you to grab 3 props before you settle in: a blanket, a block, and a strap. And those could be any substitutions for these kinds of things. Yeah, bathrobe tie, bungee cord, whatever you might have. And come on over to your place where you're going to be putting your legs up the wall. Get yourself settled. Once you get your body settled into the position, start to feel for your breath. And if it didn't happen automatically, start to lengthen your breath. Settling into these long, slow breaths now. Allow your body to soften, to slowly soften. If you haven't already done so, be sure you close your eyes now. We're going to do a practice today called mudita, which means appreciative joy. This comes from a teaching that's in the Yoga Sutras, and it's also in the teachings of Shakyamuni Buddha. And it talks about 4 immeasurable qualities. The first is love or loving kindness. The second is compassion. Those are called Maitri and Karuna. And then mudita is a special kind of joy. It's appreciative joy. The fourth, if you're wondering, is called upekshanam, and it means equanimity, or sometimes it's called indifference, but that's for another day. So this kind of joy, appreciative joy, is usually reserved for someone else. It's the kind of joy that we would reach for when we see someone else getting or having what they really want. And it's said to be the antidote to envy. But I thought today we might sort of put a spin on it and strive to practice appreciative joy for the different parts of our own bodies and personalities. So let's start by just feeling the bottoms of the feet. The inner heels, the outer heels, the length of the bottoms of your feet from your heels to your toes. All the toe mounds, 5 toe mounds on each foot. And then your 10 toes. Can you feel each one of your 10 toes? And what about the spaces in between the toes? So I've named a whole bunch of parts already of the feet. Let's start to breathe appreciation and joy into the feet. Since we're practicing mudita towards ourselves, it might start to feel more like a gratitude practice. And how wonderful. Grateful for the feet, just as they are. And this includes the idea that we're not going to wait for the feet to change. We're not going to wait for them to get, I don't know what, bigger or smaller or stronger or softer. whatever it is you might criticize normally about your feet, today we're going to just let that be put aside so that we can invite in a feeling of appreciative joy for your own feet. Feeling the pleasure of having feet, sensitivity in your feet, but also the incredible gift of the feet that hold up the whole body all the time. Now can we send our appreciative joy into the tops of the feet? And let's bring a little movement into the feet. Stretch your heels up the wall and pull your toes down so you feel your calves stretch. Bottoms of your feet stretch. You can also spread your toes out. And then point your toes, reaching the toes for the ceiling. And it might be kind of crowded near the wall to do this, but could you also pull your toes in towards the bottoms of your feet? Might get a little cramp there. Then open the toes again, spread them out, and flex your feet. Heels go up the wall. And then once again, we'll point the feet, point the toes, curl the toes in, and then relax your feet completely. My feet feel a little crampy, so I'm going to recommend that we make some circles with the feet here. Maybe we start to feel that these feet are absolutely connected into the calves, the ankles, and the lower legs. Maybe even you feel the upper legs turning as the feet are spinning in circles. And then we'll bring the feet back to rest. Now let's start to feel appreciative joy for the ankles, inner ankles, and outer ankles. Feeling the calves, the muscles of the calves, shins in front. Let's breathe appreciative joy and gratitude up into the lower legs. And now let's send that appreciative joy into the knees. So kneecaps, the backs of your knees, the inner and outer knees, and inside your knees. Is it possible to appreciate the knees exactly the way they are without saying, yeah, but just to appreciate them? I feel that there's a joy maybe the knees could experience by being appreciated. Now start to breathe your appreciative joy into your thighs, the whole distance from your knees to your hip joints. Feel the inner thighs and the outer thighs. The fronts of the thighs and the backs of the thighs. Can you feel the bones inside of your thighs? As your breath has this quality of movement, could we feel for the movement inside the legs of the blood It's moving inside the veins, inside the arteries. What about the movement of nerve impulses? What else can we feel and express joy and gratitude for? Now, let's flex the feet again. Push up and out through your heels. And then take your legs wider apart. Keep pressing out through your heels for a few more breaths. With the feet flexed, let's turn the toes inward towards center. And then let's turn the legs back to neutral. And then we'll turn them outward towards the ground. There's Gabby, my little kitty. Hello, honey. Can you tell why she's called Gabby when you hear her talking? Yeah, sweetheart. Mhm. Let's do that again with the feet. Let's roll the legs in and roll the legs out. And then let's switch to pointed feet, like ballerina feet. And again, we'll turn the legs in and turn the legs out. Rotate the thighs internally and then externally. Let's flex the feet again. We're going to bend the knees to bring the soles of the feet together. Bring your hands behind your head. Let your head rest in your hands. Let's continue our practice of mudita, appreciative joy. Almost as if this body or somebody else's body. You can really appreciate how good it feels to be in that body, and yet it's your own. Let's breathe into the pelvis, the bones at the back of the pelvis. Into your organs, all the organs that live there in your pelvis. And you feel the movement of life through your breath. Finding joy and appreciation in the whole low back area, the low belly, the hips. Now, with your hands laced behind your head, let's do a little side bend in the trunk, side bending to the left. Turn your head towards your right elbow. Inhale. As you exhale, slide your trunk back to center. And let's side bend over to the other side, looking at the left elbow. And with an exhalation, slide back to the center. Let's do that again. Inhale, sliding to one side. Now, if you're like me and you forgot to put a blanket underneath you, you can always pause the video and go grab a blanket and put it down on your mat. Otherwise, we'll just keep going. Exhale to the center. Inhale again and slide to the right, looking left. And exhale to slide back to the center. Now, take an inhalation. And as you exhale, pull your low belly down towards the floor. Pull your elbows to the sides of your head and curl up from the floor in a little bit of a sit-up. Let's inhale and come down. We'll open the elbows wide again. Exhale, elbows narrow, curl up into your sit-up. Inhale and come down. And now let's add a little twist. When you come up, pull the right elbow towards the left knee. Inhale, open both elbows. Exhale, left elbow towards the right knee. And inhale to come down. Now we're going to put those movements together. Let's side bend to the left. Curl up, and as you do, pull the left elbow towards the right knee. Then when you inhale, put the right elbow down, and you'll end up side bending to the right. Exhale, curl up, swing the right elbow over towards the left knee. Inhale, elbows down. Exhale, curl up, swing across to the second side. Inhale as you come down. Last time now, curl up and swing the elbows across to the left. Then let's come back to the center. Then we'll inhale and come down. Now let's bring the knees together and slide your legs back up the wall. Viparita Karani. Appreciative joy now. Legs and pelvis. Let's bring the hands out from behind our heads now and put your hands on your abdomen. Let's feel for the breath in the abdomen. Let your belly be soft and receptive. The inhalations allowing your abdomen to rise. The exhalations, the abdomen can descend. Feeling all the organs in your abdomen. And your diaphragm. Sides of your waist. Back of your abdomen. Feeling for life, for prana, for joy in the abdomen. Gabby, that's my cat trying to unplug my computer. And let's take the arms out to the sides. Inhale. Exhale, bend your knees on down towards your chest. Now we're going to go to our twist. So shift your hips over to the left a bit. And we'll bring the knees down to the right. As usual, feel free to put a prop in between the knees if you want that support today. And feel for that twist across your middle. Remembering appreciative joy. Your abdomen is full of organs. They're digesting your food, processing, taking out the parts that are needed for protein or for energy or for storage, and sending the rest on through. Twists encourage the digestion. Appreciating the body, the miracle that it is. Now can we move our appreciation practice into the chest? Feeling that stretch across your armpits as you reach out through the left arm. Feeling the movement of the breath in your lungs. Maybe feeling the movement of your heart beating. I have the window open today, and I can hear the school children going by outside. Their little joyful voices. I can really feel mudita, appreciative joy for their joy. When we start to expand this appreciation practice, the world gets so much bigger. The places and times where we would compare ourselves to others, find jealousy or envy, or somehow the need to try to lower them down. Instead of all of those, our joy practice expands. Let's see if we can encourage this joy practice even more now as we take awareness into the shoulders. We're going to start to make circles with that left arm. We'll make 3 circles, reaching down towards the wall first, and then coming across hand to hand. Left hand can go ahead of the right hand, and then we'll circle up overhead, opening wide, appreciating whatever you find today in your shoulders. 2 more circles around, really feeling all the different parts of this circle. Once your left arm is back open to the side again, let's take one more big deep breath. Use the exhalation to roll back onto our backs. Shift your hips back in line with your shoulders, and then stretch your legs up straight again. Take a moment here to send mudita, appreciative joy, into your arms, shoulders to elbows, elbows to wrists. I feel a little funny, I have to say, because mudita is usually reserved for others. I'm really noticing, and I want to give you an authentic understanding of this word. We wouldn't usually feel jealousy or envy for our own bodies. We usually only find fault and want to criticize our own bodies. What is it like if we skip right to appreciative joy, enjoyment? You feel in your arms. You enjoy them. You breathe into them. Feel delight in what you find. And what if we send this practice into the palms and the backs of the hands? What is felt there today? What do you feel between the palms and the backs of your hands? Now spend a little time with your pinkies, appreciating them, enjoying having pinkies. And then ring fingers. Really feel the fingers. Being with and enjoying. Middle fingers now. Gratitude, attending, appreciating middle fingers. Pointer fingers. Noticing fingernails, fingerprints, joints, maybe small pulsations of heartbeat. Now let's send that appreciative joy into the thumbs. So profound, these thumbs. So helpful. Now we'll bend the knees again and shift the hips over to the right. Rolling your knees over to the left. Where would you like to send that appreciation now? And the habit comes to find fault or name problems. Just notice that kindly and send your practice back into appreciative joy. Let's begin our circling of the right arm now. Really feeling in and enjoying whatever you find. And enjoying might sound like a stretch if there's a lot of pain or discomfort, but maybe just appreciation. Appreciation for all that you can do with the shoulder. We'll make a third circle around. And then we'll pause with that arm wide open. Let's take just a couple more long breaths here. Okay, then we're going to roll back to the center. Realign your hips with your shoulders. And take your legs up the wall again. Now let's send our breath and our appreciative joy into the neck. Feel how the neck is narrow in the middle and it gets broader around the head and broader around the shoulders. Breathe into this amazing shape. Almost hourglass shaped. Reminds me a lot of some of the trees. The trunk is the narrow point. The roots branch out, and so do the branches stretch out to the sides. As you're appreciating your neck, give a special tenderness to all the muscles there and how hard they work to hold up your head all day. And then feel for your throat inside of your neck and the parts of your throat that allow your food and your drinks to get into the body. The part of the throat that allows you to breathe. And the parts of the throat that allow you to speak and sing and whisper. Now, I want you to very lightly place your hands on your face. And we'll start our appreciative practice of the face, gently touching the forehead and the temples. Softly feel your cheeks and your chin hold your face, the way you might hold the face of a child. And then bring your hands onto the front of your cheeks and the bridge of your nose. The whole nose, as if it were in a tent of your hands. And then lightly put your hands around your mouth and chin. Now bring your hands over your eyes. Cover the eyes. And from here, we're going to sweep the hands back over your head. And if you have hair, just smoothing your hair with your hands. Do several strokes that way, telling your head and your face how much you appreciate it, how grateful you are for all the things that a face and a head can do. And inviting in joy to remember all the things that the head can do. And then we're going to bring the hands to rest on the floor. And let's try to breathe appreciative joy into the whole body. next time you exhale, bend your knees on down towards your chest. And then we'll roll over to one side, resting your head on your arm. Place your other hand to the floor and help raise yourself up from the floor. Then we're going to crawl out, as we often do. Before you lay your body down, though, make sure you have your block and your belt within reach. Come on down onto your back. And be sure you can stretch your legs out without bumping into the wall. And then bend your knees again. Let's have the feet very close together. And we'll open the arms to the sides with the palms turned down. Keep your feet stuck together, your knees stuck together as best you can. Then rock your knees to the right, so you come just to the outer edge of the right foot. Feel your belly twist. Then use an exhalation to rock the knees back to center. Now let's take the knees to the left, feeling that twist through the abdomen. And we'll exhale the knees back to center. Let's go side to side this way a few times. And begin to notice that in order to bring your knees back to center, you have to do a little work with your abdomen. And let's make it purposeful work. Let's imagine that you have a rope that went out and you're pulling on the rope to bring back in whatever went out. Maybe it's like you have a life preserver on a rope and it's going out to help someone. And then you pull that rope back in by toning your low belly down towards the floor. Let's go one more time to each side. Once you get back to center, pause there. And then let's heel toe the feet all the way apart to the edges of the mat and turn the palms to face up. Now lift all 10 toes off of the floor. Feel the aliveness of your feet. Keeping your toes lifted, rock your knees over to the right. And again, you'll feel that when the knees come back to center, it's this toning of the low abdomen that helps that happen. We'll inhale the knees over to the left with the same awareness that bringing them to center, we're going to use the abdomen. We'll keep the toes lifted here. Inhaling and exhaling, side to side. Now, can we bring in that appreciative joy for the strength and ability of the body to bring these knees back center? Appreciative joy for the muscles that will both tone and release. How we can weave in the mind to make that even more deeply felt. The next time the knees rock over to the right side, let's let them just stay there. Maybe a little more time in this position can bring a little more appreciative joy. If you want more stretch along that outer left thigh, then pick your right foot up and put it on top of the left knee, the top meaning the side of the knee facing the sky. If that bothers your knee at all, don't do it. But if it feels okay, let just the weight of the leg rest there. We don't have to press down, just the weight of the leg is enough. Breathing in, breathing out. If your heel went on top of the left knee, bring it off. And with an exhalation, we'll rock the knees back up center. And we'll rock the knees over to the left side, and we're going to hang out there for a little while. And again, you can put the left foot up on top of the right knee if you like a little more stretch along the outer right thigh. Inviting in joy, the joy of being in a human body, being exactly the age and condition of health that you are and have right now. I promise you are never going to be any younger than you are right now. Then let's unstack that left heel if it went up. Rock the knees back to center. And then heel toe the feet back together. Bring your hands together at your heart now. Interlace your fingers. Turn your hands inside out and stretch your arms up. Now rock onto your heels and slide your legs out straight. Reach your feet towards the wall. Maybe your feet even can press the wall now. It's okay if they touch the wall. And then we'll take the arms overhead and palms face away from the wall. Reach into your feet, reach into your hands. Spread appreciation and joy, gratitude across your whole body. Lovely. Release your arms, bend your knees. Now let's take the block. We'll place the block between the knees. We usually do the upper thighs, but today I want you to put the block between your knees. Squeeze your knees, press them strongly into the block. And still holding the block between your knees, lift your toes. And then lift your toe mounds, so you just have heels on the floor. And let's gently rock this block side to side, trying to press against it the whole time. You'll feel the block slip a little bit. If you're worried it's going to fall, just keep your hands there. Otherwise, arms out to the sides. And feel for that toning in the low belly with this waving of the knees, squeezing the block side to side. Good. Come on back center. Put your toe mounds and your toes down. Let's take the block out and lay it across the low abdomen. Feet come together and knees come apart. If you're okay with the block there, you're not worried it'll fall, take your arms into the cactus or the goalpost shape. So we toned the inner thighs, and now we can feel that they're able to stretch. Just like the heart, we want all the parts of the body to be able to contract and strengthen, and release and stretch. We can get pain from both an over-contracted muscle that doesn't know how to release, or an overstretched muscle that doesn't have as much ability or awareness to tone. So we want them to be able to do both. Now with your next exhalation, start to draw your knees back up toward the ceiling, soles of the feet to the floor. Separate your feet to hip distance apart. Now take that block and place it all the way at the upper inner thighs, right up by your pubic bone. And give it a good squeeze with your thighs. Make sure you have a sense of where the block is and how to squeeze it. Then we'll bring the hands together behind the head again. When you exhale, squeeze that block with your thighs. When you inhale, release the squeeze and arch your back away from the floor. Exhale, we'll lengthen the back and squeeze the block. Inhaling, we arch and relax the legs. Exhale, squeeze and lengthen your spine. This time when you inhale and you arch your back, you can also move your chin away from your chest. When you exhale and squeeze, move the chin towards your throat. Now we're sliding the head through the hands so that the neck can imitate what the low back is doing. Let's transition into our little sit-ups now. We'll be squeezing and lengthening, elbows together and curling up. Inhaling, we come down and arch, chin moves away. Exhaling, squeeze, tone, and lift. Come on back down. Let's do that one more time. Breathing in, breathing out. Now, let's do that similar thing to what we did on the wall with the knees in Baddha Konasana. Let's side bend to the left. Then we're going to curl up in a sit-up towards the right hip bone, then towards the left hip bone. Then we come to the side bend on the right side. Let's make it a little smoother this time. Exhale, curl up, and right away swing the right elbow towards the left hip. And then inhale to come down, opening both elbows. Let's remember to squeeze the block when we curl up and swing the trunk across. Then we'll relax the squeezing when we inhale and come down. If this is feeling complicated, let's do a version of our block squeeze sit-ups that works for you. Feeling appreciative joy for whatever your body and mind are able to do right now today. Let's do one more set of whatever variation is working for you. When you're done, bring your trunk back to center. Once again, we'll take the block out and put it on the low belly. Legs into Baddha Konasana, knees apart. Feeling the movement of the breath in the block. Inhale. As you exhale, draw your knees back together. Now let's take the block off. We'll put it to the side. And slide your legs out straight. Feel for that appreciative joy. Now we're going to bend the knees once again. This time I want you to cross your right thigh over your left thigh, up as high as you can. Crossing that right leg across the left. Let's open the arms again with the palms facing down. We're going to rock the legs side to side. So just the left foot is on the floor. You're rocking to the inner and outer side of that left foot as the knees move left and right. Let's come to rest, leaving the legs crossed. Now stretch your arms straight up. You're going to take the right arm on top of the left. A couple options here. One is that you can wrap your arms around and hug yourself, reaching toward your shoulder blades. Another option is that you can also entwine the lower arms, perhaps putting the palms together. Now, the knees are just going to go to the left, and the elbows are just going to go to the right. Feel for that twist through your middle there. And the left shoulder blade coming up away from the floor. And then let's bring knees and elbows back to center. It might be a really small movement. Don't be surprised. Maybe you just barely come off center again with the elbows right and the knees left. And exhale back to the center. One more time, please. Inhaling. And exhaling. Now
let's leave the arms entwined, but unwind your legs. And if your lower arms are entwined, release them, and we're all going to hold the back body, trying to hold the shoulder blades if you can. And let's rock the elbows side to side, peeling the bottom shoulder blade away from the floor. Let your head do whatever it feels like doing. It's very likely going to want to turn side to side away from the elbows. Notice what it wants to do. Does it want to tilt? Does it want to turn directly to the side? Does your head want to stay still? Let's meet with both shoulder blades on the floor and then reopen your arms. Let's turn the palms down for extra stability. And now we'll be crossing the left thigh over the right. First, we'll do the rocking side to side. It's the right foot that stays on the floor now, rolling to the inner and outer sides of that right foot. And then let's take the legs to neutral. Arms stretch up, left arm on top this side. And remember, you could either wrap the hands around to the back body or entwine your lower arms, perhaps palms coming to palms. Now the knees are going to go to the right and the elbows to the left. And like I did, you might just about fall over. So maybe a very small movement. It's easy to feel tippy here. And let's meet with the hips and the shoulders in neutral. Uncross the legs. If your lower arms are entwined, wrap your hands around behind your back. And again, we're going to rock the elbows side to side. This time, purposefully turn your head away from your elbows and look down a little bit towards the bottom edge of your mat. Let's come back to the center. Stretch your arms up. Open your arms wide. Let's turn the palms down again. Now draw your knees in towards your chest. Stretch your legs up and give your legs a little shake. Shake your feet, shake your legs. Try to get them to wiggle and jiggle and make something shake. Okay. Put the feet back on the floor and take your belt or whatever you're using for a belt. Let's put it over the bottom of the right foot. And stretch that right leg up straight as it will go. And slide your left leg out along the floor. Let's feel for some appreciative joy in the hamstring muscles. All these muscles, each one, big and small, are essential for all the different movements that we want to do in life. So could we give them a little gratitude and appreciation? Could we feel joyful, delighted that we get to live in a human body? Of course, every body has pain. Every body has some pain. That's normal. That's, I guess you could say, healthy. It's not a surprise or a shock. Many pains do heal, but some do not. So we can still find appreciation and gratitude for the body that we have, quality of life that we do have. Now let's hold both ends of the belt in the right hand. We're going to bend the left knee. Take the left arm out to the left. Then simultaneously take your legs apart from each other. Right leg to the right, left leg to the left. You can slide the belt through your hands so that you're able to rest that right elbow on the floor. Find that breath. Pathway today for mudita, appreciative joy. One more inhalation Let's use the exhalation and the toned belly to raise the legs back up to center. Slide the left leg out straight. Hold the belts with your left hand. Take your right arm out to the side. And then take that right leg across the center line, keeping the right hip, back of the pelvis on the floor. You feel a strong stretch out the side and back of that right leg. Take the leg back in line with the hip. Bend the knee to take the belt off. Slide your leg out straight and feel into your two legs. Okay, last side. Bend your knees. Belt goes over your left foot this time. Left leg stretches up straight. Hamstrings, calves, where do you feel this? Slide the right leg out straight. Don't worry if your leg won't straighten. You could play with different options. Some days you might take the leg up and keep the leg as bent as it needs to be. Some days you might take the leg to the height it can be and actually be straight. Find out what's going to work best for you on any given day. Now let's bend the right knee, pass the belts over to the left hand, open the right arm to the right. Take the legs opposite direction. Again, you can put the left elbow down to the floor to help support your arm. Your arm doesn't get so tired. Your arm can hold the belt to support the leg. Breathing in. Breathing out. Wait for your next exhalation to bring the knees back upright. Slide the right leg straight. Pass the belt over to your right hand. Left arm reaches to the left. And we'll take that leg across the center line, keeping the left back pelvis on the floor. Finding appreciation for the stretch that you're getting in that outer thigh. Those are some of your strongest stabilizing muscles and fascia. And aren't we grateful that the legs don't fall out of the hips, that our body stays steady and strong, that we're able to live this life as best we can. And we'll take the leg back where it was. Bend your knee to remove the belt. Slide the left leg out straight. Just feel this body. Now let's bend both knees. We're going to roll to one side. We'll be coming on up. I'm going to close with a restorative pose. It's called it's just a supine, there really isn't a name for it. It's a form of Shavasana. So we're going to open the blanket. And if you have this kind of blanket that has the tassels on it, start rolling from that side so that the tassels end up inside. And we'll roll the blanket long and narrow. Place the blanket on your mat lengthwise like this. So it's the same lengthwise orientation as your mat. Then you have some options. If you have a block, you can tuck the block underneath one end. If you don't have a block, you could grab a pillow or a blanket. My cat's on top of my blanket, so I'm not going to demonstrate that one. The block would go here. If not the block, a blanket would go on top. And then watch here, you sit at the bottom of this rolled blanket and you're going to put it right along your spine as best you can. Your head is a little elevated, either by the blanket on top or the block underneath. Let's start with the arms stretched out to the sides, palms turned up. And then turn your arms so that your palms face that wall behind you. Now with your palms turned, press the back of your head down. Lift your chest up a little bit and tuck your shoulder blades down your back. Then relax the turn of the arms and bring your arms down to more like about a 30-degree angle. And then let's slide the legs out. Take a long, slow breath in. And as you exhale, close your eyes. Let your body grow softer and softer. Right in that quality of joy again, joy and enjoyment. Deep appreciation for life, human life, precious life. Start to take some deeper breaths now. Feel for all the points in your body that we touched with so much attention. Face, head, neck, shoulders, arms, hands, fingers, chest, abdomen, pelvis, legs, and feet. Breathing appreciative joy into all of them. Now let's bend the knees. Carefully roll to your right side. Catch your head on your arm and take a breath there. Bring your left hand to the floor. Help raise yourself on up. Let's meet in a seat. Any comfortable seat will do. Bring your hands together at your heart. Let's close practice with the sound of 3 ohms. Inhale. Om. 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 Namaste. Thank you for sharing this practice today. Appreciative joy can really enhance and enrich your life, whether you practice toward yourself or someone else. So I recommend you keep it up. And I hope you have a wonderful week. You take good care of yourself and enjoy the springtime.